Laura Sparks reporting. Well, all of us want to leave our mark on the world. Some go about it entirely the wrong way. Like the teenagers in this story who vandalised a bus and then escaped by jumping from it at 65 kilometres an hour. If the National Trust gets its way, behaviour like that may soon be rewarded. Here's David Richardson.
It's just stupidity, and for the sake of scratching a couple of windows, the kid nearly lost his life.
It's 11:15 on a Friday night. 4 teenagers board a bus in a southern suburb of Perth.
They said to the driver, "Sorry, we've got no money and no tickets." The driver agreed to take them as long as they behaved.
Minutes later, 2 of the boys begin scratching windows. The blatant vandalism is caught by security cameras. It's not missed by the driver either. He calls for security to intercept the vehicle. Terry Scott of Southern Coast Transit explains what happened next.
Kids heard the radio call and knew security were on the way. They actually started to try and force the doors open. They managed to get one of the doors open. As they did, one of the young fellas tumbled out and hit the road at 65 kilometres an hour.
Then, according to the driver, the remaining youths accuse him of running the teenager over. Before he could stop the bus, they also jump. Their injured mate was picked up by a passing motorist, ex-police officer Martin Atkins.
When he originally got in the car and I seen how bad he was cut up, I asked him what actually happened, and he said to me that he's stuffed up. And I said, "What do you mean you're stuffed up?" And he said, I jumped from a moving bus.
Martin rushed the 16-year-old to hospital where he was treated for a broken knee and foot. Severe grazing to his calves and torso will now require skin grafts. The parents of the other boys dobbed their sons in after seeing these pictures.
These actions of jumping from a moving bus, consequences are that he's going to have injuries which are going to be with him for the rest of his life.
While it's clearly mindless property damage, illegal street art or graffiti like this could soon be protected by law. Scott Hilditch from Graffiti Hurts isn't impressed.
With graffiti, we actually see a decline in society, and it actually attracts other antisocial behaviour.
Melbourne City Council recently proclaimed this work by renowned British artist Banksy as legal, the first piece of its kind to be housed behind protective perspex. Now, the National Trust is investigating whether or not a whole range of graffiti should be heritage listed.
I think the National Trust do some great work, but I think on this campaign, they have definitely got it wrong. They are so far off the page, it's not funny.
Scott believes legitimising vandalism is sending the wrong message, particularly as graffiti costs us nearly $300 million a year to clean up.
From a safety point of view, I wouldn't like to see an elderly couple or a middle-aged couple or even some young women come after work to go to a bar or to a cafe in an area like this because they would feel unsafe.
There are some that I think justifies heritage listing. I think there's some on this building behind us that justifies protection. Whether you give it heritage listing is another thing.
The Municipal Association of Victoria's Rob Spence has been documenting this wall next to his home for years.
There are 2 little Banksies on this wall that have been there for probably 8 years, and they're starting to deteriorate. And I've got photos of them, but it would be good if we could actually find a way to protect them.
If you're wondering why Banksy's name keeps popping up, it's probably because some of his London work sells for almost $500,000. The graffiti game's big business, and leading Australian artists Ben Frost and HaHa, yes, HaHa, hope to emulate that Brit success.
I think the National Trust is on the right path, and I don't have a problem with it being illegal. There's like things out there that are far worse than like a kid vandalising a street wall or something like that.
It's an urban experience, and if you live in a city, then you should kind of expect these things. If you don't really like that, then you should kind of live on the 20th story of an apartment building.
Given heritage protection, the pair's work wouldn't be painted over or cleaned off, potentially increasing its value in years to come. Convinced it's crucial to protect our urban history.
I think a lot of people feel as if they don't have a voice, and being able to say things immediately without anyone having to tell them whether it's right or wrong, good or bad, is a really powerful thing.
David Richardson reporting.